Okay, so welcome back with Miss Need, and we're looking at Unit 3 fractions and decimals. So what I want to know, okay, is what do you already know about fractions? Well, let's think about this just a little bit. If I have, not what I wanted, a fraction, right? This is 3 on the top and 5 on the bottom divided by that line in the middle, right? So this top number is called the numerator, if you remember, right? And this bottom number is called the denominator. Okay, so we're looking at the numerator and the denominator, and what do those mean? Well, let's talk about the bottom number first. This one right here. So the bottom number is telling us how many parts are in the whole, okay? And then the top number is telling us how many parts we're considering out of that whole. So if I'm thinking about, I'm a team, I've played 5 games, but out of those 5 games, we've only won 1. So 3 out of 5 games, right? Or 3/5. Okay, or if I have my lovely little chocolate bar and my friend comes over and is like, hey, can I have one? So I'm like, sure. And I'm going to cut it in half, right? One of the things that we should remember about fractions is the larger this number is, the smaller one piece of that is going to be, right? So my one friend, and then I have 2 more friends come over and say, hey, can we have some? So now this looks much different if I get 1 out of these 4 pieces or 1/2 of the whole, right? Okay. Okay, so what are some situations that you have used or seen being used with fractions? So definitely cooking, right? We have our measuring spoons, we have our cups. When we were learning time when we were younger, we learned about the quarter hour, the half hour, right? And then having quarter to or 3/4 of an hour. If we're needing to convert between Fahrenheit and Celsius, between inches and centimeters, or you know what, if we're just going to buy a pair of shoes, we might need a nice old 10.5. All right, so some examples of different other ways that we have used fractions, right, is, dividing up a line. If we're needing to divide up a number line into pieces, again with the time, fractions of an hour, fractions of cups or fractions of teaspoons, fractions of a measurement, fractions of an area or like a distance, like on a football field, fractions of people. We definitely probably did a lot of those in our younger years. And then fractions of angles. All right, so this is going to be big review, right? If I'm looking at this triangle and I'm just talking about fractions, right? If we're thinking about fractions, how many triangles do I have in total? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And that would be the denominator. And then how many are colored is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So 6 out of the 9 are shaded. Or I could say how many are white, and I would say 3 out of the 9 are shaded. So for this one, I could say there's 6 triangles in total and 3 of them are shaded. Or I could just think about if I move that one over and then I could say half of this shape is shaded, right? Or I could say 3 out of 6 are not shaded. The same kind of thing, right? This one is another one that we've seen ever since fractions were first introduced. And it's like, what fraction is shaded? So remembering, okay, and I'm not using my ruler here, that I just make everything else look the same as that first square that's shaded so that I can figure out what the fractions are. So it's 3, 6, 9, right? And I have 1 shaded out of 9. Or I could say how many are not shaded out of 9, and that would be 8. But just remembering that we have to make them all into equal sized pieces. So what I want you to do is I just want you to change this so that they're equal sized pieces. Okay, now it's going to be a little difficult because you can't really draw on it, but I want you to think about, if I was going to draw on this, right, I'm going to make these all into triangles because that's my smallest shape. So I could start by just drawing a straight line across, right, and trying to create the same size triangles all around. So just pause the video and give that a go. All right, so now this isn't done exactly right, but if I'm looking at this, I have 3 triangles here, 3 triangles here. In this middle part, I have 6 triangles. Over here, I have 2 of these, and I have 2 of these, right? So now I can just add these up. So I know that's 10. Okay, I know that's 10. So I know I have 20 in total. So if I'm going to ask you how many black, how many dark gray, how many peach, and how many light gray, if you haven't done this already, then that's what I want you to do right now. So pause the video again. Okay, so the black, obviously we have 6 out of 20. The dark gray, I have 4, I have 4 out of 20, okay? And the light gray, I have, change that to a 6 out of 20. And then the peach, I have 4 out of 20. Okay, now I know that this is a little bit of review for you, but I do have a section of questions for you.